Hello, friends. Welcome back to So Here's the Thing. This week we are being joined by my friend, Jana Bishop. She's incredible. You guys are in for a lot of actual information. So I need you to be prepared. I need you to have a pen and paper. If you're in the car, listen once and then listen again with your pen and paper, or go to the show notes and read the transcript because Jana does not hold back. She is a meta ad strategist. So we are going to be talking about taking complicated marketing strategies, breaking them down so that they're actionable and easily doable, which sounds too good to be true. But just so you guys know, I met Jana because I actually purchased a one-on-one with her, and that came with her course. And I mean, she really does a great job of breaking things down to be simple. So without further ado, Jana, welcome to the show. Tell us all about yourself.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. I love talking about ads. I feel like I really geek out over that stuff. And so any opportunity that I get to come on and talk about that is a good opportunity for me. So thank you for having me. So I started running meta ads several years ago when I had a Lightroom preset product that I was selling. And I realized if I ran ads, I could really get a lot of attention to my shop and make sales. And that started my love of ads because I realized I could spend a ton of time on social media and try to build up that organic interaction and getting the word out. Or I could put a little bit of money behind some ads and reach a huge audience and in turn begin to make sales. And so from that, I remember going from like $10,000 a month to the month that I decided to go all in with ads, I did over 70,000 in sales. And that was like literally from one month to the next. Ads were just life changing for me. And so when COVID hit, I was selling my presets, but obviously a lot of photographers weren't able to do photo shoots. People were tired of taking photos at home because what can you take photos of after you've been home for like 2 and 3 weeks, you know? So my sales on my presets started to slow down, but I had people contacting me and saying, I'm starting a little side hustle. I have a little bit of time now that I'm home. Can you teach me how to set up ads? And that's when it hit me. I was like, oh my gosh, I think I need to pivot and start teaching people ads because that was truly where I was spending the time in my business and really seeing the best return. So from there, I started ads in an hour. That's how we met and started after I met with like 200 business owners around the world. I created Facebook Ads Bootcamp to really kind of take the same thing that I was teaching over and over again and teach people how to set up their own ads because agencies are expensive. And when you're first starting out, you want to be able to put all of your money into marketing, not into an agency. And so that's been my whole goal is to teach people how to DIY their ads. And it's been a lot of fun, this whole process.
Well, I love how passionate you are about it. I always think it's really inspirational and obviously something that we all aspire to when you think about doing something like this, when you put your money into this and you say, that would be amazing to see the return come back. But obviously, a lot of people have a lot of fear around ads, around meta ads in particular. And of course, in the where we're at in our society, literally today as we're recording this, everybody's like, meta, there's so much distrust and there's just I feel like there's so much noise around it that even if you had considered running ads, a lot of people just stick with their organic marketing because one, maybe it's just been it's been fine, it's working, it's not terrible. And then also they just maybe don't know where to start or they feel overwhelmed. When you look at your average business owner, what do you say to that when people are like, is there even a reason to do this? And at what point in my business should I be doing this?
Yeah, absolutely. I always think the sooner the better because there's a few steps that you need to take when you set up meta ads. And one of those is the pixel, and I'll cover that here in just a second. But the sooner that you can get a pixel set up and allow it to begin collecting information on the people that are visiting your website, the more that you're kind of priming or seasoning that pixel in order to understand who else to target. And so, like anything, advertising is basically putting some money behind something. I mean, we still see billboards. People used to do like direct mail campaigns, radio spots. Marketing isn't new. It's just Meta came in and kind of disrupted the marketing industry because it's direct to consumer. It's so fast. Whereas before you might have to say, okay, I'm going to try this $20,000 marketing strategy, or I'm going to do a commercial and just hope that my messaging resonates with my audience and it converts to sales. Meta disrupted that because it's like, okay, people click on the ad while they're scrolling, and then they will pretty much, if it's priced at an impulse buy range, they're going to buy within the first one or two times that they see your ads. And
Mhm.
so I think that while Meta has kind of a bad rap, especially with all the changes that they make and then different things, how they've just changed over the years, it can kind of get a bad rap. But when you think about the way that it can instantly put your content in front of people and do it in a way that it's going to attract in buyers, it really is one of the most powerful marketing platforms. And so I love to see business owners try it even from the beginning and allow Meta ads to grow with their business over time.
Yeah, I feel like that's definitely something that, I mean, I personally don't run ads right now. I have in the past, obviously, you know that. But for our listeners, like I have done it in the past. And when you mentioned the impulse buy price, I don't think I did that right. You know what I mean? So, like, what are some parameters if somebody's like just starting out and they're trying to decide, okay, she said the sooner the better. One, like, how much money do I need to be able to put into this? And two, like, how do I decide what I should be running ads to?
Yeah, so there's a few different ways and strategies that you can use with ads. I personally love to sell a lower ticket item and then kind of slowly upsell people into other items that I have for sale. And over the years, I've built up a really good size email list. So even now, when I launch a new product, I can launch it to my email list first. I don't even have to spend any money on ads on it, and I can begin to see sales come in just from that. So thinking long term with meta ads is really the best way to go. But when you're first starting out, you need to decide, are you going to do a free lead magnet? And is it something people actually want? Like if you just said, hey, here's this little thing I put together and you don't really sell it and it's not super enticing, people aren't going to click on it or it's going to attract the wrong audience. So if you're going to do a free lead magnet, it needs to be something that is really good and really enticing. I personally love to have people spend money with me right away. I want to train my pixel on buyers. And so that impulse buy range is going to be anywhere between $17 and $97 for a product. And I'll let you know when I first started selling Facebook ads boot camp with ads. Now I had sold other products with ads, but I priced it intentionally very low. And it was a course that people were commenting. They were like, I paid $1,000 for a course and it wasn't this good. And I was selling it in the beginning for $30. And so I started attracting in people were commenting, tagging their friends, sharing my ads, sharing my organic content. It kind of helped me get the word out about my course. Over time, I played around with different price ranges to see how it affected my ads. So I went from 30 to like 37, 47, and now it's a $97 course and it still sells day after day. So don't be afraid to test things out. If someone buys it at a lower price, they're not going to be mad that you raise the price later. They're going to be really happy that they got in when it was lower. And
Yeah.
so that's where I like to have people go is start lower. Let's see if we can really begin to attract buyers to your product. And then what else can you sell? How else can you increase your lifetime value by upselling them an order bump, selling them something else later in an email sequence? There's lots of ways that ads can complement your business and really begin to drive customers to your offers day after day. So I think in the beginning, I would really suggest that you price your ads. Like if you're going to do a $37 offer, go ahead and try a sales campaign at roughly $40 a day with the goal of making one sale per day and really starting to learn about the whole process. And I don't like to start people out with massive budgets right away because you're still learning. You're trying to figure out, well, what ad are people going to click on? What ad is enticing people to take action? You're learning a lot about yourself and your business and your customers in the process. And I think that's why people succeed with meta ads a lot faster than they do with organic content, because when you put money behind something, you're really driven to figure it out fast.
Yeah, I agree actually. I mean, obviously, I think growing your list is really, really important, but I also think that if it's going to be all about you creating purchasers, I love the idea of getting people their first interaction with you to be some sort of paid product. I think that's so smart. And I really love that you encourage people to do that. I think there's a lot of fear around that as well. So I'm really glad that you said that because I think it'll give people maybe permission to be like, okay, I can sell some things like right off the bat. This could work. Now, I just want to clarify because this stuck out to me. Did you say to start out like $40 a day?
Yeah, and I know that for some people, that might be like, "Oh, that's great." Other people, that might be more expensive. If you're gonna do a sales campaign, that would be that $40 price range, depending upon the cost of the product you're selling. There are other ways, though, to kind of tiptoe into ads, and that's what I teach in boot camp, is really like a $5 a day method. So
Yeah.
that way you can begin to get traffic to your website and find out what people are interacting with. And really, like I said, you start to find out so much about your customer base, and you find out so much about what you're saying or doing that entices people to take action. So, for instance, like if you're sending people to a website, you're probably going to see lower sales if you have a course or an online offer versus an actual sales page. And so, those are some of the things that you want to learn at the $5 a day price point versus
Yeah.
the $40 a day price point.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. I also just like the idea of you can play with different ranges and find out what's working, what's not, and then increase from there. Do you see, I mean, in your opinion and just experience, do you see people still to this day getting started in ads and seeing a huge jump? I feel like everybody who has been around for a hot minute, right? Which is like most of our listeners are in the education space, obviously. And so it's like, I think they see things and like, oh, well, I missed the boat on that. Like it's just too late.
No, you can still have success with ads. I mean, I was listening to Alex Hormozy talk about ads a couple of weeks ago, and he was saying, and I completely agree with it, the more creatives you put out there, the more return you're going to see. And I think that's the point where a lot of people get hung up, is that they will only put out a couple of ads and they'd be like, see, it didn't work. I tried and it's not going to work for me. I missed the boat or I'm too late. When really it's a matter of how much can you put out there in order to begin to see a return, because we're inundated now with so much on social media. We have to really dig deep and find out, okay, my audience did not respond to this ad, but they responded heavily to this one. Now I need to create more like it. And the more that you put out there, the more you're able to see, okay, this is what my audience wants from me. This is what converts. And so it's not a matter of like, oh, you missed it. You missed the time when it was easier. I'm not going to lie about that, right? When I first started with ads, I'd have like one or two creatives and they'd get all these comments and sell, and it was so much easier. Now I do hundreds of creatives. So, yeah, you may have missed it when it was just a little bit easier or a little bit cheaper, but they're still relevant. They still work. There's still a powerful way to drive sales day after day in your business without having to constantly show up on social media.
I feel like that line in itself is going to make people so excited. I do know that it can feel really daunting when you say like hundreds of anything, right? Our friend here at the podcast, and you will actually meet her at the Creative Educator Conference where Jana's speaking, you guys. So I'm really excited because when we get in person, you better believe I'm going to be like scribbling down every note and being like, wait, hold on, repeat that. But as we dive into that, my friend Sarah of Sarah and Design has a Pinterest course. And in that Pinterest course, she talks about how you have to create so many variations of one pin, right? Of one post. And the thought of doing that stresses people out, I think, to the extent that they just don't want to do it because they think like it's going to be insanely time consuming. Now, I know on Pinterest, she teaches a strategy on how to do that. And I believe that you do the same in your course. It's not as overwhelming as it sounds, right?
It's not. And it can really be as simple as text on a screen, and then you have like 10 different variations of color. So you
Mhm.
might have black and white text, you might have bold text that's purple, whatever your brand colors are. But a lot of times people want to stay so consistent with their brand in the ads, and it's just colors that kind of blend in with the feed. And so that's oftentimes something that we have to work through, is going, okay, I know that your brand is mostly pastels, but what else can we use that would complement it, that would still be your vibe and still match your brand, but that might stand out in the feed a little bit more? A lot of people don't want to show their face, and I understand that. But if you are the face of your brand, having your face on some of the ads can really help people identify with you. And so a lot of times it really can be as simple as in Canva, duplicate, change the background color, duplicate, change the font text. It's just trying out different things to see what will capture people's attention. And you'll notice as you get into it, because honestly, the creative part, when I dive in, I have so much fun, but it is the one thing that I sit there going, oh, I gotta figure some creatives out. And so utilizing the meta ads library, you can Google that. just put in Meta Ads library. And then from there, it'll take you to a screen that will allow you to search your competitors' ads. And you can see what they're doing. You can see how many ads they're running. And one of my favorite companies is a vitamin company. They have those gummy bear vitamins. I think it's Bruins, if I say it right. If you go and search them, and I cover this in one of my courses, you will see so many variations of their ads. They use UGC, which is user generated content. They use static images. They'll use videos. They'll do all kinds of stuff. And part of that is because Meta is becoming so advanced within the different ad strategies that they have. If you can begin to put out a bunch of creatives, Meta is going to learn what people are responding to, and it will serve them a creative that they think they're going to respond to. And so Meta is actually kind of coming alongside us saying, if you put out a bunch of creatives, we'll figure out who to show it to. And so that's another huge incentive right now to jump in with ads, is because Meta's trying to make it easier for you to get started.
My gosh, I'm like, I feel like such a dinosaur because I'm literally like, that's so scary and cool. I mean, it's great. It is honestly great, but wow, technology, crazy.
Yeah.
I am, I'm old enough to remember like a time before the internet. So take with that what you will. That is honestly, though, I feel like it gives a lot of hope too for people who think like, oh, did I miss the boat? Like, no, it's actually getting smarter every day and something that investing your time and learning and resources in, which is why, I mean, I literally, after I just remembered that you're going to be at the conference, I'm literally like so excited to dive into this like hands on with you again, because I remember when you and I were working together, y'all, Jana like called me out. She made me put my face on there, and I don't really shy away from putting my face on there, but I remember you being like, no, you need to like point to the thing, take a picture, take the background off. And it was so, I was like, oh gosh, this is so out of my comfort zone. But I did it and it did work better. Not gonna lie about that. I know that you wanted to kind of break down like a simple ad strategy and like give our people some more. I mean, you've given so many amazing insights, but I know you wanted to kind of clarify a few strategic points of running meta ads. So like I'll let you kind of take that away because I'm excited to learn about this too. And again, for those of you coming to the conference, I can't wait for you to see what Jana has in store for us there to be able to like hands-on get some stuff done together. But for those who are taking notes here, like this is the time to get your pen and paper out.
Absolutely. I'm excited about the conference too. We'll be able to build out some ads and get everything set up live. And that's going to be really exciting. I think it's so powerful when you can walk away with something done. So hopefully people can get that from this podcast too. So I'll kind of go over a couple of things to get you started. One thing that I get asked a lot, and it is true, it really helps to use Chrome when you are using the ads manager. So first things first, if you're in Safari, it lags. It doesn't always have the best relationship with Facebook ads and Meta. So if you're going to start running ads, really begin to use the Chrome extension in order to access the ads manager. Now, when you set up Facebook, which if you're like me, you set it up forever ago, you have a personal profile, right? It's the one that you can like talk to your sister on and you see the pictures of her baby, and that's your personal profile. But Meta, now that it's become so much more advanced, when you run ads, it wants you to have a business profile. It wants you to have the business manager in order to access your ad account. So don't worry about thinking like, oh no, I'm going to have to run ads for my personal account. Meta's really smart. It has created a whole other entity for you to run ads from. And those ads are going to be served from your business Facebook page and from your business Instagram account. So a lot of people have a creator account that works for ads, a business account works for ads. But just remember your personal Facebook account, your personal Instagram account will not be connected, like your ads will not be shown from those accounts, but you have to have that in order to actually do the business account. So that's like a common misconception that I always like to clear up, because I know I wouldn't want ads running from my personal account. I'd be afraid, you know?
Yeah, like thank God. I'm like, okay, I already felt like the breath of relief from like everybody listening.
Yes, makes it so much better. You can keep them separate. So get Chrome, get the ads manager set up, which I know that that's easier said than done. So if you're having trouble with that, go to the conference or my membership can help you with that. But getting that ad account set up, that way those ads can be in this separate location for you. The next thing and the best thing that you can do right away, if you're just interested in ads, but you're not ready to run them, is go ahead and set up. It used to be called the Meta Pixel or Facebook Pixel, but of course, we know Meta likes to change things. And so now it's a data set. So if you actually go in the business settings, like it's all tools, business settings, then you'll go to where it says pixel, it'll redirect you. Like now it's a data set. And so when you go and set that up, it's the exact same that it was with the pixel. You get a piece of code that you're going to put in the header of your website, or you get a numeric code. Like I know Kajabi just lets you enter in the numeric pixel ID and it connects for you. And so a lot of platforms are doing much better at making it easier to connect your pixel. And I appreciate that. I always appreciate that because it makes the process so much easier. So get that pixel on there just so that way the pixel can begin to collect information on the people that are visiting your site. Again, we're thinking about this whole thing as it's all working together, it all complements each other. And so if you have your website as a little island and you have Meta as an island, the way that they can communicate back and forth is the pixel. And that's like a bridge that goes between the two and it can send information back and forth. So that way, Meta knows what's happening on your website and it can begin to attract in people that are similar to the ones already interacting with you. So that's one thing that is like, even if you're not ready to put some money behind ads, just get the pixel, get the data set all ready to go. And then if you have been running ads and you notice that they weren't doing so well, or you're kind of confused about the different settings in there, there's one major piece that I am trying to get everybody to do right now. And that is when you're in the ads manager, on the left hand side, there are a bunch of different symbols, right? There's a bunch of different things you can click on, but there's a little megaphone on there. It looks like a megaphone with a star next to it. And that is the advertising settings. So when you click on that, a new page is going to open up. And then you're going to have the option down at the bottom to do your audience segments. And this is for everyone listening. You definitely want to make use of this because not only are we wanting to get information on your pixel, we want to get information on your ad account. We want to tell Meta who has purchased from you and who is engaged with you. And so this little option right there will allow you to upload a CSV file of all the people that have made a purchase with you. So I always tell people that have spent money with you, upload that CSV file into those audience segments and tell Meta, these are my buyers. And that allows Meta to start to match up information on the back end. And it starts to find people that are very similar to those buyers, almost like a huge lookalike audience. And so this is one of the things that you can do right now, even if you're not running ads, just start to train the ad account on who your best buyers are. That way Meta can work its magic on the back end and collect information on people that are just like them. The other thing you want to do is your engaged audience. And so that will allow you to connect in if you have, your Instagram account, your Facebook account, you want to put in the information on the people that are engaged with you. Again, this is just priming the ad account so that way Meta knows who is already engaged with you, who likes your content, so that way they can begin to match up other people around the world. Because that's the cool thing about Meta is if you have an online course, you can sell it internationally. You're not just limited to your city, your state. You're not just limited to the United States. You can actually branch out globally. And so by allowing Meta to see who's already purchased from you, who's already interacting with you, you can really begin to prime it to find people that are similar to them around the world. And so these are just the things that you can do. They're free. They get you right in Meta. Like you can start to get your hands dirty without having to spend any money, get comfortable with the platform, feel at ease with it, and get it primed and ready. So that way, when you do start running ads, you already are like a little bit ahead of the game.
Mm. Oh my gosh. I feel like everyone has now 3 things that they have to do like this week, myself included. Actually, don't think I've done a couple of those things. So I'm going to have to go in and like upload my customers and things like that. And I'm sure you've already told me to do that. And of course, I probably haven't, but I'm going to do it. I promise. That's amazing. I feel like I could ask you probably 1,000 more questions. But I think we should wrap with our final question of the unpopular opinion on the topic, because if anybody else is like me listening to this, they're like, okay, I have a full checklist of things to do. And I'm going to go ahead, and this sounds like an ad. I'm not even an affiliate. I 100% think the 4th thing on that list should be to go purchase Jana's Meta Ads course, because I like the fact that you made that so palatable for me means that everybody's going to feel the same way. So add that to y'all's list. Let's wrap up with, let me hear like your unpopular opinion on running Meta ads as a small business owner?
Oh man, I really think what people get so upset at me about whenever I talk about ads is I tell people to start with a traffic campaign. I love to lean into those lower priced campaigns because I haven't forgotten what it was like to start out with ads and be completely terrified. I
Yeah.
didn't have a huge budget, and I always want other people to feel empowered. And I want to give them a way that they can start with ads right away without spending a huge budget. And so I know that I get a lot of hate on my ads when I would like break down my system and say, okay, we're going to start with traffic, then we're going to do retargeting, and then we're going to do sales. Hate that. They're like, no, 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 you start with sales. And I'm like, that is the most expensive campaign to start with. Why would I tell a beginner to start there and just bleed money? I want you to feel comfortable in the ads manager. I want you to understand the process and really begin to just feel fluid and excited about what you're putting out there and not just counting every penny because you're worried that you're wasting money. And so I know that that has probably been the one that I get the most hate on. But when I talk to students, they're like, I loved that because it allowed me to get started with ads without a huge budget. And I learned so quickly what was working and what wasn't. And that's what I want. I really want to empower you. Meta doesn't give me a kickback on what you spend. Like my whole heart is to get you started, let you see how powerful it is, let you see how big of a reach you get, and then you're going to be motivated to keep going. Like it's a no-brainer.
Yeah. I want to give one piece of encouragement to anybody listening. Don't beat yourself up if you haven't done it yet, because I know that I have like been so excited to get started and then I just other things take precedence, but like I am so excited this year. It's one of my big goals to like really dive into running ads and seeing the difference and like understanding them. So as a student of yours, I have to say I so appreciate the way that you're so ethical and upfront and just like you care so much about people's, like you said, empowerment and knowledge and understanding that like this is the best way to do it to feel comfortable and not be running ads with budgets you don't have. So thank you. I think that's so incredible and such a testament to like who you are. I just like love you so much. You guys are, people are like, wow, Laylee's gushing. I really am. I just love Jana. Where can people find you? How can people connect with you? I know that everyone's probably like, okay, I need to go get this. I need to go get all her resources and all her courses.
Oh, well, thank you. You're so kind, Lately. I love you too. So, one of the best ways, honestly, is my membership. And that's where I'm going to push people this year specifically. When you're in my membership, you get access to Facebook Ads Boot Camp as well as some other courses to really get you started. But I think the beautiful and my most favorite part of the membership is the 3 weekly Zoom calls. So, there's 3 hours a week dedicated to calls where you can hop on, share your screen. Mondays, we do a pixel call. So if you're having a hard time getting your pixel set up or CAPI set up, all these terms can be really confusing and overwhelming in the beginning. I know for me, I just want someone to go click here, do this, do that. I don't want to have to like figure it out on my own. And so the membership is such a great place. So we can help you get started. And then we can also help you identify like, that's a really good campaign, put some more money on it. Or that campaign isn't doing so well. Why don't you drop the budget so you're not wasting money? We really help you fine tune the process. You can do the courses and get immediate feedback on how your ads are doing. So the membership is where I am like, you guys, this is the best deal. Go there. You're going to get all the help you need because I feel like that one-to-one support, even though they're group calls, but they're small, I keep the membership small. You really get the help you need. And it's a really affordable price. It's just a little bit more than the cost of the course. So,
That's a
yeah.
no-brainer. That is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, sign
So
me up.
other than that, yeah, I have a couple of courses that just came out at the end of last year. Algorithm ads is a really fun one that teaches you what ads the algorithm loves and how to create more like it. I really do some good, like real-time examples to show you in the meta ads library how to dig in and figure out what's working for other companies. So you can figure out what might work for yours. And then I have carousel ads, which I'm about to launch. I did it as a Black Friday sale, and then now it's going to be a permanent course in my offer suite. But that really teaches you how to lean into the power of carousel and use them as ads because Meta will show those ads over and over again. So think about it. If you have 5 images in a carousel ad, if someone doesn't necessarily respond well to the first one, they might respond better to the second or third image. And so Meta is going to keep pushing it out to people until it gets them to stop and take action. And so carousel ads are like a bigger bang for your buck. So that's another fun course that is about to launch.
Oh my gosh, that sounds so amazing. I'm honestly like, I'm still over here being like, who wouldn't join the membership?
I
Like,
know.
that's so good. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm so excited to see you and give you a big hug in real life here in the spring. Honestly, at the time that this goes out, ticket sales might be closed, but if they're open and if we have any seats available, I encourage you to join us. If not, I encourage you to listen back to this episode as many times as you need to and join Jana's membership because that sounds incredible. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. See you guys on the next episode.